What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon MLB DFS video. It is Sunday. It is May 18th. We are back. If you've never been with us before, especially on a weekend, we break down every single game for you. So we're going to look at the games on all the slates, except the Sunday Night Baseball game. We'll probably have a separate video breaking that down and building some lineups there. We're going to break down the games for you. We're going to look at all the pitchers, all the batters. You will notice it's probably a lot longer video than you're used to. That is because we go very in-depth. If you need an abbreviated version, we do have that under MLB, matchup tool, projection, simulations. We've got it all there for you. Part of FTA Plus. $10 a week, $30 a month, $199 a year. But if you email us, our Mother's Day special, we still have, I think, 3 spots available. First come, first serve. You will get $100 off a yearly pass. So that being said, we still try to have giveaways every single day. We try to go 2 giveaways. Here's the first one. Like the video, be a subscriber, leave a comment on the video. You do all of those, and this video gets at least 50 likes, you will have a shot at a free week of FTA Plus. And that's all sports, not just MLB. If this video gets at least 100 likes, a chance at a free month, 150 likes, a free year, 200 or more likes on this video, a chance at a lifetime pass. Second way to win, somewhere in this video there'll be a keyword or a key phrase. Be on the lookout for it, listen, type it in, and see if you are yourself a winner. So we're going to see who the 2 winners are right now from Saturday's video. So we got over 100 likes in that video, and we are going to roll it twice. So even if the keyword is in this first one, we are going to roll it a second time for the keyword. So the winner, there you go, Moises the Dreamer. Congratulations. I think this might be the first time you have won. This name does not sound familiar as someone who has won, but I want to thank you for checking us out. Congratulations. All you got to do, let me know if you have a username on our website, FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. If you do not, please email me either way, but dfshelp1@gmail.com. All of our information is in the description, but tell me a username, email, and a password, and we will get you set up for your free pass. So congratulations there. Now, the keyword was not in this comment, so we are still going to re-roll it anyway to see what the keyword is. The keyword was sweet or sweets or some combination of sweet. Your advice had got me to first place 10,000, then Wilmer Flores destroyed me. Wow, I was so close, but Wilmer dropped me almost literally out. Moises, I got to pause the video, and I got to see if your full comment has the word sweet in here, because you have multiple different comments, and you won both of them, but if the keyword is not here, we will have to pause it and redo it. So let me check real quick. Oh, no, you don't have the keyword, but you already won at least the month there. So, but yeah, I mean, it's awesome you were in first place. Wilmer Flores, I think, 3 home runs and 8 RBIs on the day. Of course, stuff like that happens all the time, but that is awesome. Let me know how you ended up doing. Like, I'm very curious how much he actually knocked you down, because he had a monster Friday night. So we're going to re-roll it till we get the keyword of sweets or sweet or something like that. So there you go, B Fowler 7. It's been a while since you've won. Congratulations. I need both of you guys to email me, and we will set you guys up for a free pass. So, as always, we're going to use Outlier.bet. I want to thank every one of you that have been using our link, signing up with our link. Has been awesome. So, here's the deal. We're going to use Outlier. We're going to show you what it is. The link to sign up is down below. If you use that, get a 7-day free trial, and then you do their normal package, we are going to give you a free week of FTA Plus. You just got to email me with your username on Outlier and your email, and so I can make sure you signed up with our link, and we will get you that pass. dfshelp1@gmail.com is the website. If you sign up and do their premium package after 7 days, we're going to give you a free month as well. So big shout out to you guys for signing up and using it. And if you have not checked it out, you, I think, are going to be in for a treat while we break down all the games here. So that being said, after we go through every single one of the games, we look at everything. We're going to give you all of our batters that have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating through 10,000 sims. After that, we're going to do our pitches be crazy, where we go over the bottom 5 teams that strike out the most and the pitchers going against them, and if they make any sense to either play with DFS or sports betting. And then finally, we're going to do our Makin bacon bets, where we are going to look at everything we just talked about through 10,000 sims. And then we're going to see the batters that we think can get at least 2+ bases, and then some of the pitchers that we think could get X amount of strikeouts, and we'll kind of go through all of that as well. So buckle up, sit down, let's have a fantastic Sunday, and let's break down this slate. Okay, so basically what we do, we're going to look at this. We've got the main slate, which starts at noon, same thing on Sundays. So Sundays are basically the day of rest. What I mean by that is the majority of the time, you're going to see like a backup catcher starting and stuff like that. Not all the time, but you can kind of see it sometimes. So we could see that like with the Mets on Sunday Night Baseball, like Torrens could be in, or maybe it's Francisco Alvarez. It's just kind of like that. So we're going to go through. We're going to look at every single game. We are going to hopefully make you better DFS players. Now you can skip through the chapters here. You can look at the main slate, the afternoon slate, the our other sections of the videos. It's all up to you guys, but I just want to make you guys aware of everything we have. So we're going to look at the first game. We've got Houston Astros versus Jack Leiter. Now, Jack Leiter's never faced the Astros before. It is not confirmed to be Ryan Gusto yet, but he last pitched on Monday, so it should be his turn in the rotation. Does not come in very well at 4.80 ERA, negative fantasy points in back-to-back starts, one against the White Sox, which makes no sense. He only went 0.2 innings. He's not lasted in these games. He is now going up against Texas. I do not trust him. Kind of the same thing here. I don't know if I really trust Jack Leiter. He's got a 4.35 ERA. Did well against Colorado. We took him versus Colorado because you're supposed to take your pitcher against the worst team in baseball. That worked out. But outside of that, like he had 3 straight games that were bad. Since he had a good game, and then Boston, he had a pretty good game there. So when we're looking at value, especially on DraftKings, and people ask this all the time, I'm looking for a minimum floor of 2.5 to 3 times value, meaning 7,100 is a salary times 2.5 or times 3. Actuality, what you need out of both of your pitchers to take down a GPP is basically 25 plus minimum out of the starting pitching. On FanDuel, it's like 45 or 50 plus, just the way the scoring's different. So Jack Leiter does have a matchup here against Houston, who he's never faced before. He is pitching at home where he does have a 4.7 ERA. I don't trust either of these pitchers. We just have other great pitchers that we can look at. So this is where we come over here and we look at the bats. So we can't look at the bats yet because it has not been confirmed Ryan Gusto. And then when Outlier doesn't have the game, it can't break it down. So just what you need to do is once it has been confirmed, it is Gusto or whoever the pitcher is, then you can go to Outlier using the free link that we're going to give you in the description and check it out. So if I were to look at bats against Leiter, or Gusto, Wyatt Langford hitting home runs and stealing bases, I want him there. Josh Smith makes sense. Adolis Garcia. Pretty much everyone in this lineup makes sense outside of Simeon is struggling. He does have actually some, if we're looking at BVP against, and this is if it is Gusto. I looked at it. He has like the top BVP matchup real quick. Let me see. No, they're thinking it's against Framber Valdez. So scratch that. He's batting 173 with only 3 home runs this year. I don't trust him. Pretty much the only people I don't trust for Texas would be down to Marcus Simeon and Jake Berger's one that I can't get a feel for him. Sam Haggerty's another one where is he even up still? I mean, I would probably go from everyone from Yonder Diaz up except for Marcus Simeon. I do not trust him whatsoever. And then Houston bats that I would be looking at. Obviously, we've got Jeremy Pena, who's been doing very well. Altuve, I would look at. Paredes, I would look at, especially with some heat. Now, with Texas, and in this ballpark, if the roof is open and it's hot and humid, the ball is going to fly out of there. So I am not looking at the pitching there. I would look at the bats, but let's kind of wait to see, for in fact, who's going to be the starting pitcher, just to kind of get a better feel for this game as a whole. So the next game we're going to look at Washington and Baltimore. Baltimore firing their manager early Saturday morning, I believe, which is wild because he's supposed to be good and Baltimore's supposed to be good, and they are not. They are the opposite of good right now, which is just wild to see. But we have Michael Soroka versus Zach Eflin. Now, Soroka, I used to like him when he was with the Braves and he was good. He got hurt. And now he's not done much. Like, he didn't even hit value against his former team, went 4 innings there. Hasn't really gone deep into the games. He pitched on May 31st. Then he had a month, like 5 weeks off, came back. 14.5 and 10. He hasn't done much. I don't trust him. I would rather look at the bats in this game completely. Then you got Zach Eflin. He's been decent. His price is $8,700 though. 60 plate appearances against this Washington team, a .321 batting average. And this is where I'll show you how we use Outlier to make better DFS decisions. So, not sponsored by Outlier. I've used them since last year. So we look at this. Washington bats against Eflin. Like Josh Bell is a home run. That is it. But against right-handed pitching this year, Nate Lowe, you guys know I love Nate Lowe. 246 batting average, 7 bombs. You've got Dylan Cruz, only batting 191, but does have 5 bombs. Like, he is there. He is ready to rock and roll. Maybe we take advantage of that. Maybe we don't. We could look at it different directions, but I love me some Nate Lowe. James Wood always makes sense. CJ Abrams makes sense. If Keibert Ruiz is starting, I do like him. But again, it's Sunday. He might not start. Another one is you could look at Luis Garcia as well. That's probably where I'm at there. Baltimore bats against Soroka. No one's really had success. Tyler O'Neill does have a home run, but he's been day-to-day the past few games. I don't know if he's been put on the IL yet. But you can see they're smashing righties right now. Gunnar Henderson, Jackson Holliday, Ryan Mountcastle. Ryan O'Hearn is batting 301. Rivera, I don't know if he gets in there, but he's batting 417. You got Cedric Mullins, only batting 210, but has 6 bombs. Tyler O'Neill's okay, but I don't know if he'll get in there. But then we know that they don't have their manager, whether or not that was a decision they enjoy or not. How are they going to play? That's the only thing that scares me. I don't think it's going to be a Michael Soroka day. I will have no exposure to the pitchers here. I will have exposures to the bats. I think I would probably have a little bit more of exposure to Baltimore bats, but I will have some exposure to Washington as well. So then we go to Atlanta at Boston. Boston does strike out the 3rd most out of anybody. You got Schwellenbach, who has now come back down to earth price-wise. He was $10K for a while. And then Brian Bayo. So Schwellenbach, 3.48 ERA. Really, he did hit value here, but 18.2 is not enough. Especially now he's 8,900, hit 19.3. So you can see his price was like 9,800, 10.5, and he wasn't hitting value. And we were off of him, and we were stacking against him, and he was still high. Like, there's no reason, no world where he should be 9,700 against the Dodgers. And he proceeded to give up 6 earned runs. It's kind of what I felt. So looking at that, yeah, I'm not looking here at all. I don't trust him. He could have a good game. You could look at him for like pitching because they do strike out. But his price is up there. Then Bayo comes in 233. His ERA is low. He hasn't gone 5 innings the past couple of games. Strikeouts are ish, and then he does have some walks. And now he's going up against an Atlanta team where he's never faced them before. Or yes, he has. 49 plate appearances against them. 283 batting average, 20.4 K percentage. So we kind of look at that, and maybe Bayo for tournaments I'm okay with. But I think we want to look at the games, break down the games just a little bit more, and look at the batters in this one. Specifically, I would look at Bayo over Schwellenbach if we're looking at that, just because of the price difference. So just looking at the games, you can just see, like, this is why or not games, but you can see all of the breakdown here. We have just either batter splits or BVP or historical. It's a fantastic website to use. So if we're looking at the batters against Bayo, not a ton of success. Verdugo does have a home run. Ozzy Albies has a home run as well, but they are hitting righties better. So the more green you see on your screen, good to go. So I would look at all of those guys that are in green. Austin Riley, he's in red. He's still batting 282, which is 40 points above the league average. So pretty much I love a full on Atlanta stack here. Kind of the same thing with Boston. Like, the only one who's had success against him is Devers with a home run. They don't hit as well, but I mean, I'm still using Bregman. I'm still using Rafaela. I'm still using Wilyer Abreu, Christian Campbell, Jarren Duran. Like, I'm looking at those guys. I don't trust really the catchers for that game there. I don't really want Toro. I don't want Story. Ref Snyder's up in the air. It just depends on the lineup that comes out. You might be able to find some value here because, again, Sundays we do tend to see value open up a little. Pitching wise, though, I'm probably fading this one because we do have better pitchers. Speaking of better pitchers, Pittsburgh at Philly, you got Paul Skeens versus Mick Abel. Okay. So making his debut, starting. Spot start with Aaron Nola on the IL is probably the only thing. This is one where I don't know what to do. He's 8,000 making his debut against a bad team. I get that. We'll throw him in there for a couple of lineups if you make multiple different lineups. But again, 8,000 for this is, even against the Pirates, I'm scared to use that. Then you do have Skeens. He comes in. He's never faced this Philly team before. Game log wise, his price has come down a little bit. It was skyrocketed. He's kind of been up and down value-wise. Now, in his career, he's never seen them before, so we always give that an advantage. He is expensive, though, but we know that he is a stud and has great stuff. But the walks are they're kind of up there in the last few games. That's the only thing that scares me. You're looking at probably like 6 strikeouts or so, but the walks, if he can like stop walking people, it would be even bigger game. But again, I mean, you're looking at Philly bats, Schwarber, Harper, Castellanos, Trey Turner, Sosa. Those would be ones that I'd look at if we're kind of trying to figure out where we're at, building the lineups there. But I'm not using Abel for cash, maybe a little bit of tournaments because the Pirates are so bad. But the fact that he's 8,000, I don't enjoy that. Let me know what he's on FanDuel. I haven't looked yet. And then Paul Skeens is, cash or tournament. Don't worry about it. Detroit at Toronto, you got Jackson Jobe versus Berrios. Berrios is one that I just don't know what to expect. 4.33 ERA. 4.6 against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's a bad team. He gave up 5 earned runs in that game, 3 walks, 4 Ks. Then against the Angels, 2 earned runs, 9 Ks, but had 5 walks. Had 2 straight games of 20 plus. Did have 15.8, 8.7. He's been up and down so much. The way Detroit's hitting, I don't think I want Berrios, at least in cash. Maybe you throw him in tournaments for that mindset because he's had great games this year. But what are we going to get out of him? Because we know that Detroit's just unbelievable. And then Jackson Jobe, 4.32 ERA, coming off a great game against Boston. We did use him against Boston because they do strike out so much. Then a bad game at Colorado, but it's in Colorado, so I'm not going to worry about that one. But the one at Houston a little bit, he only went 4 innings. Then he had these good games here. And he's 7,400. I will have exposure to Jackson Jobe. I will also have exposure to the Detroit bat. So I would be looking at Javi Baez, a resurgence year as long as he doesn't get popped for PEDs. Spencer Torkelson, I believe he had a monster home run on Saturday. Harry Carpenter, Riley Green, pretty much Dingler, pretty much everyone in this lineup for Detroit, Gleyber Torres, all of them make sense to use. I'm fading to, now I'll let you know right now, I can be wrong sometimes, but I'm going to fade, just complete fade of Toronto bats. I could be wrong. Let me know down below if you think I am. But I'm looking at Jackson Jobe, and then I am looking at Detroit bats as a huge stack. Then we got Cleveland at Cincy. We got Andrew Abbott versus Luis L. Ortiz. So Ortiz has faced 40 plate appearances against the Reds, 162 batting average, striking out 25% of those batters. My problem is it's in Cincy, okay? Great American Small Park, the ballpark flies out of there. The wind is blowing, at the moment, is blowing directly out center field. 30+% chance for home runs. That's what scares me. So looking at this ballpark, that does scare me, but Cincy does strike out the 5th most out of any team, but not very much at home. And then we look at the game logs. He's coming off a great game against Philly. We did use him against Philly because I was like, he's never faced him before. He could do some things. He only gave up 1 earned run, had 9 Ks. Then the bullpen came in and blew it. Bad game against Washington, good game against Minnesota, bad game against New York, good game against Pittsburgh. If he follows that trend, it would be a trend of him having a bad game. That's what scares me. Hasn't faced Cincy this year, but when he is pitching on the road in 4 games, has a 7.29 ERA. And 7.29 ERA. I'm looking at that, and I don't trust him. I would rather look at Cincy bats. So we could look at Andrew Abbott, on the other hand, against Cleveland. In his career, not a ton. Has seen him a little bit. 16 plate appearance, 313, so that's not much. You can't really go off of that. He's had back-to-back really good games. We look at his splits. Home games, he does have a 120 ERA, so for whatever reason, he does pitch better at home. So I'll have a little bit of exposure to it. But if we break this game down and we kind of look at who we would be looking at, Cincy is those are the bats that I'll have more exposure to. So we can look at those. Cincy bats against Ortiz. No one has a home run, but against right-handed pitching, they are hitting very well. Trevino batting 362, Wins batting 423. Stevenson, hopefully it's not Stevenson, hopefully it's the other catchers. You could look at them. Ellie De La Cruz batting 270, steals bases as well. Gavin Lux batting 339, Will Benson batting 333, Austin Hayes batting 277, kind of cooled down a little bit as of late, but you could still use him. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm more of a stack there for Cincy than I would Cleveland. But Arias does have a home run against Andrew Abbott. Against lefties, like Kyle Manzardo batting 304, Jose Ramirez batting 387. And if you've been with us for at least a couple of weeks, you know that we love to take J Ram against lefties more than righties, and he is hitting 387 against them. Stephen Kwan batting 292. I'm okay with that. I will have some exposure here, but I'm probably going to have more exposure to Cincy bats and a little bit more of Andrew Abbott. I just don't see myself using like Luis Ortiz. 6,500, I'm okay with, but on the road, he's been bad, and this ballpark scares me. Tampa Bay at Miami is the next game for you. So we're looking at this game. You got Shane Baz versus Cal Quantrill. Baz, 7 plate appearances, so nothing going on. Quantrill, 28 plate appearances, 182. Quantrill's been one where he is a 7 ERA. He's had a good game against the Dodgers, which just makes no sense to me. Then a bad game against the Dodgers, which makes sense. And then kind of up in the air with how he's done against other teams. Hasn't gone deep into games really that much. Tampa Bay is a bad team. In his career, 28 plate appearances, not enough. Basically a full start. You do look at his home. His home splits are 643, so he has been bad regardless if he's home or away. I would look at Tampa Bay a little. Then we got Shane Boy here, 502 batting average or ERA. Has not hit value since 425 in San Diego, which was a pitcher's ballpark, against a team that actually did pretty well against righty. Then had a good game against Boston. He had like 3 really good games in a row, a bad game, a good game, and then the rest have been pretty iffy the rest of the way. So we look at that, and I'm probably not using either of these pitchers because there's just so many different options. I would use bats. So if we're looking at Tampa Bay bats, no one's had success against Quantrill in their career, but against right-handed pitching this year, you do have Aranda batting 353 with 6 bombs. Got Caminero batting 269 with 6. Got Brandon Lau batting 252 with 6 bombs. Misner 283 with 3 bombs. Chandler Simpson gets on base, steals you some bases. Those are the ones that I am definitely looking at. Then Miami against Shane, nothing. Against righties, though, you've got Liam Hicks batting 302. I would look at him. Agustin Ramirez batting 297. You've got Connor Norby a little bit. Simon a little bit. I'm still looking at Kyle Stowers. He's only batting 272, but he does hit lefties better. But he's batting, he has double-digit home runs against right-handed pitching. So I'm fading the pitching in this one. I am going 100% with the bats. I think I'm probably leaning a little bit more towards Tampa Bay overall, but I could see both. Then we have St. Louis at Kansas City. Now, this is a pitcher's ballpark, but the problem is there's some wind here. There's some rain. I don't know if this game gets in. We'll definitely watch it, though. You got Matt Liberatore versus Michael Wacha. Liberatore coming in at 8,100. We used him against Philly, and he did nothing for us. We used him against Pittsburgh. He did very well. And then we did not use him in Cincy because I don't like to use him in Cincinnati. Now, this is a pitcher's ballpark, so we'll put it that way, which is great for Liberatore. 22 plate appearances against Kansas City, 278 batting average. And then Michael Wacha, 82 plate appearances, a 307 batting average. So I'm probably off of both, or I'm off of Wacha 100%. I'll have a little bit of exposure to Liberatore. But I'm looking at the bats. And this is kind of where we'll look at the bats here, and I'll show you. I'm pretty sure Arenado has some good numbers here against Wacha. Now, Arenado being on the same team, like St. Louis, Michael Wacha was on St. Louis for X amount of years. And this is kind of like what I said with the Yankees with Sevy, or like the Yankees with JP Sears, or the other teams that had pitchers that played with them for an extended period of time. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say Michael Wacha pitching for them, they're going to, like their scouting department, their analytics, everything is going to know what he's going to pitch. And I could see St. Louis just absolutely murdering him. Now, again, weather is a big factor here. St. Louis bats against Wacha. You do have, Arenado batting 636 against him. So what is that? 6 for 11 with 3 home runs. You've got Lars Nootbaar with a home run as well. Against right-handed pitching, you've got those two that I like. Then you got Burleson batting 292. Wilson Contreras batting 263. Brendan Donovan batting 339. Mason Wynn batting 341. Victor Scott batting 309. This right here feels like a St. Louis stack 2+. What I mean by that is, if you're new to the channel, you can only have 5 players stack for DraftKings or 4 players stack for Fanduel. I like more than 4 and 5 players on this team, meaning we've got to have different stacks. 2+ stacks for St. Louis is where I would look at in. And then Kansas City bats against Liberatore. Sal Perez has a home run. Against lefties, though, they really haven't been as good. I mean, you could do the one-offs of like Bobby Witt Jr., Hunter Renfroe, Jonathan India, Michael Garcia. You could have those guys. But in this game, if the weather does hold up, I'm looking at Liberatore, and I'm looking at the bats for St. Louis. Now, again, these are through 10,000 sims. Anything can change. Weather can change. Wind direction can change. A lot of things can change here. So pay attention. Everything we talk about is through first 10,000 sims. About an hour before an hour before first pitch of this main slate that locks at noon, we will update to 20,000 sims. So I just wanted to bring that up. I mentioned that before, but I don't think I mentioned that in this video. Next game, Minnesota at Milwaukee. It has not been confirmed who the pitcher is for Minnesota, but I believe Zebby Matthews. Yep. So it's not on Baseball Savant, but he did get called up to start. Now, he is not. It's not the best matchup for him, and there's a reason he was sent down. He does have a 1.93 ERA though in the minor leagues. 38 strikeouts to only 9 walks over 32.2 innings. That's 7 starts. But yeah, he did have almost a 7 ERA in the majors. That's what scares me here. He is 6,800 though, and Milwaukee's kind of been iffy offensively, so I'm okay with that. But honestly, Freddie Peralta here against Minnesota, he has not faced them this year in his career. 39 plate appearances, 143. I would look at Freddie Peralta here. I do know that offensively, their bats have been pretty damn good for Minnesota, but I'm probably looking at Freddie Peralta. Zebby Matthews only for tournaments because he's been so bad, but I'm not really looking at the bats. At least through 10,000 sims. Maybe after 20,000, everything will update, and we will 100% know. We will know who we have here. And then the final game of the main slate, we've got the White Sox at the Cubs in windy Wrigley Field. I'm trying to look. The wind is blowing in. It's supposedly going to be cold, and it's the same system that's at my house. It went from like 85 or 90 on Tuesday to like 56 this weekend. And it's the same cold front there. It's very windy, and if it's the same wind here, it's like 40 mile an hour wind. So I would give the bump up to Colin Ray in this one, just because it's Pitcher's Park. And then I am looking, there's a couple of one-offs for the White Sox you could look at, like Meadroth you could look at. Elko you could look at. Both are very cheap options. But if I am looking at the bats here, it's probably leaning more towards the Cubs. PCA I'm looking at. Nico Horner I'm looking at. Dansby Swanson I'm looking at. Depending. But Michael Busch could be in there. Kyle Tucker, obviously, if you ever have a stack of the Cubs, Kyle Tucker has to be in those stacks. That's kind of what I look at. But again, the wind, it could be a low-scoring game in this one. You just never know. So that's the main slate focused on. We are done with that. We are now going to cover the 4-game afternoon slate to wrap up this hopefully amazing video for you. So the first game we're going to look at, we got the Athletics at San Francisco. This is a very massive ballpark, pitcher's ballpark, huge ballpark. Doesn't matter what the wind is doing. The wind is literally blowing out. Let's see. Where's it at? The wind is blowing directly out to right field, but that is like 7,000 feet before you hit a home run. It's actually blowing directly out, and they've got a minus 24% chance of home runs through 10,000 sims. So that says a lot about this ballpark. In this ballpark, we've got Jeffrey Springs, 24 plate appearances, a 130 batting average against Justin Verlander, who has 69 plate appearances, a 206 batting average against Oakland. But Verlander comes in with a 4.50 ERA. We have not used him once this year, and he really has not hit the value you need. Again, he's 21.1 against the Angels. You need 20 plus out of him at his price. I don't trust him. He's not going 100 plus pitches in every start like we are used to. He did that here, and it slowed down, kind of progressively slowed down every single start since April 15th. 104, 98, 89, 85, 82, 79. It's just gone down every single time. That's what scares me a little bit. I don't trust him whatsoever. I don't really want Jeffrey Springs. I'm 100% all about looking at just the bats on both sides, not just one side, but both sides. So if we're looking at like the bats against Verlander, Blade has a home run. Shea Langeliers has a home run. But again, this ballpark is not conducive to a ton of home runs. It's a massive ballpark. Triples and doubles, yeah, you'll get that all day. The gaps are huge, and the wind is blowing into them, but the home runs is the factor there. So if I am looking at some Oakland bats or Sacramento bats or athletic bats, whatever we're calling them these days, I'm looking at Tyler Soderstrom. I'm looking at Schumann, who'd be a cheaper option. I'm looking at Nick Kurtz, who could be in there. I don't know if he will be. You do have Lawrence Butler. You got Brent Rooker. Andujar. Like, I'm looking at all of these guys. Today, Wilmer Flores, obviously, on the flip side of that for San Francisco, has not faced him. Matt Chapman, I would look at against a lefty. I would look at Wilmer Flores. I would look at Willy Adames. I would look at Jung Ho Lee, who's hitting 319 against lefties this year. Elliot Ramos, Mike Yastrzemski. Like, I feel like this could be a huge game. I don't know how many home runs are going to be, but I just do not trust the pitching here. I would rather focus on the bats or a main slate or an afternoon slate like this. Colorado, Arizona is the next game on the docket. You got Chase Dollander versus Merrill Kelly. Kelly comes in, 3.71 ERA. Great start at San Francisco. We did take him against that because of how bad that ballpark is for home runs, and he had 8 strikeouts in there with no walks, 1 earned run. We're kind of used to the 16 plus out of him, but he is facing the Rockies, who they are a very bad team. We know that. So we look at this: 102 plate appearances against them, 200 batting average, 26.5 K percentage, only a 5.9 walk rate. Then you got Dollander, who's never faced Arizona before, and this ballpark does scare me a little bit. I will have a little bit of exposure to Merrill Kelly just because of how bad the offense is. He is a little bit better at home. You can see 304 compared to 428 on the road. So I will have a little bit of exposure to Kelly. I don't trust him enough. I'd probably rather focus on the bats. And if we are focusing on those bats, the ones that make sense to me at least, do fall on the Arizona side. Colorado's offense is historically bad. Arizona bats against Dollander, obviously never faced him before, but against righties this year, Josh Naylor batting 330 with 5 bombs. Suarez batting 244 with 12 bombs. Corbin Carroll batting 296 with 12 bombs. Pavin Smith 307, 4 home runs. Arizona 2+ stack makes a ton of sense to me, and that's kind of where I'm thinking as another stack here. So Merrill Kelly, no Dollander, no Colorado Rockies, and then Arizona offense as a stack. So then, second to last game on this slate, Seattle at San Diego, Michael King versus Brian Wu. Now, I love Michael King. There's a reason he's the picture of the video and the article that accompanies it. And you look at this, 60 plate appearances against the Mariners, a 214 batting average. So he did have a little bit of hiccup against the Yankees, only put up 10.5, but then he bounced back with 21.2 against the Angels, at 23.8 against San Francisco. And then you look at splits. He has not faced Seattle this year. On the road, you can see that he's got a 364. But when he's pitching at home, which is a pitcher's ballpark, 164 batting average. So he just does better at home, which is exactly what I'm looking at here in this ballpark against this offense. But on the flip side of that, this could be a low-scoring game. You got Brian Wu coming in, 284 ERA, 23.9 against the Yankees. They ended up winning that game 2-1, 6.1 innings with 6 Ks. He's going up against San Diego. In his career, 22 plate appearances, a .095, so basically 1 start. You look at the splits, though, and we see splitting the splits-wise that home games 0.0 or 0.93, but away games 4.02. So for whatever reason, he's pitched worse on the road. So we can kind of dig in a little bit. I am leaning more towards Michael King, though, but we could see definitely different directions here. Like Arozarena has a home run, but that is it. And then you've got the Mariners bats against him. They haven't seen him against righties, like Cal Raleigh with 10 home runs. You've got J.P. Crawford. You got Jorge Polanco. You could use Rowdy Tellez a little bit. J-Rod, you could use that. But then if we look at San Diego bats against Wu, like Gavin Sheets does have a home run. That is it. And then against right-handed pitching, you've got Luis Arraez batting 327. You've got Jake Cronenworth batting 316. You got Gavin Sheets batting 308. You've got Machado batting 321. You've got Jackson Merrill batting 413. Tatis batting 345 with 10 bombs against righties. I'm probably leaning more towards San Diego bats and Michael King as my pitcher. Okay, so we look at the final game after looking at this. LA versus LA, or Anaheim versus LA. You've got Tony Gonsolin versus Yusei Kikuchi. You've got Kikuchi, 103 plate appearances, 298 batting averages. The Dodgers. I don't trust him. He comes in, he's 6,700 for a reason. You look at this, he's got a 3.72 ERA. He has not faced the Dodgers this year. When he's at home pitching, he's got a 165. When he's on the road, it's a 4.78. He's going up against the Dodgers. stack the Dodgers. It just makes sense. And then Tony Gonsolin here, 9,300. He is expensive. In his career, 44 plate appearances against the Angels, 220 batting average. Coming off 20 points. I mean, he's had 3 good starts here. He is expensive. He's hit Miami twice. He now gets to go up against the Angels, who strike out the most out of any team, almost 10 times per game, and almost 10 times per game on the road. He does only pitch once at home, so the numbers are skewed a little bit. But he is in a great matchup here against the Angels. If I'm looking at this, I'm looking at Tony Gonsolin, and I am looking at the Dodgers as a stack. And pretty much everyone, just wait for this Dodgers lineup to come out there, kind of figure out who you're looking for. So there you have it. Those are the main slates and the afternoon slates absolutely completed. We now have a breakdown of all of the batters. I have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating through 10,000 simulation. So we've done 10,000. And like I said, towards the end of about an hour or so before the first pitch of the main slate at noon, we will update it to 20,000. The record is 38, so let's see if we can beat it. I don't think we're going to. So this will include every game that's on the slate. It's not just the main in the afternoon. It will include the Sunday Night Baseball game as well. So right now, number 1 through 10,000 sims, Aaron Judge versus David Peterson. Number 2 is Corbin Carroll. Number 3 is Ohtani. Number 4 is Ketel Marte. Number 5 is Kerry Carpenter. 6 is Eugenio Suarez. 7 is Austin Riley. 8 is Brandon Lau. 9, Jonathan Aranda. 10, Pavin Smith. 11, Gleyber Torres. 12, Geraldo Perdomo. 13, Kyle Tucker. 14, Alex Verdugo. 15, Yandy Diaz. 16, Vladdy. 17, Mookie Betts. 18, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. 19, Junior Caminero. 20, Gabby Moreno. 21, Danny Jansen. And 22, Luis Urias versus Justin Verlander. So there you go. We've got 22 batters that have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating. Now we're going to look at the pitchers via Pitches Be Crazy. These are, I don't always agree with all of these, but these are ones that have the best matchups here against teams that strike out the most. Number 1, Tony Gonsolin versus the Angels. Angels strike out 9.91 times per game, 9.88 on the road. You got Merrill Kelly versus Colorado, 9.82 times per game. Colorado strikes out 10.13 on the road. Number 3 is Spencer Schwellenbach at Boston. Boston strikes out 9.26 times per game, 8.38 on the road. Number 4 is David Peterson at the Yankees. Yankees strike out 9.05 times per game, but only averaging 7.73 times at home, so it's a little iffy for me. And then number 5 is Luis L. Ortiz at Cincy. Cincy strikes out 8.91 times per game, but only 7.83 times on the road. I do not trust Luis Ortiz. I really don't trust Schwellenbach. I will have exposure to Gonsolin. I don't know about David Peterson. I will have a little bit of exposure to Merrill Kelly because Colorado is so bad. So again, to reiterate and tell you, number 1, Gonsolin. Number 2, Merrill Kelly. 3, Schwellenbach. 4, David Peterson. And number 5, Luis L. Ortiz. Now, finally, we are going to look at all of the batters that we think could have over 2+ bases for you. So use these for sports betting. You could parlay them together. I wouldn't parlay all of them together because there's a lot. So don't do that. But there are certain ones that make sense, and we want to take advantage of those that we can. So whether or not you're going to use these for DFS in your stacks, whether or not you're going to just sports bet completely, that's kind of what I'm looking at here. So if we're looking at everything combined and you want to find some of these batters that make sense, let me know. And I would love to know if you guys are ones that have been with us for a while and you are listening to these, have you taken these up? Have you the ones we talk about during the day? And how have you done with your sports betting? They're not all going to hit. I know that, but they're in great matchups as of right now. So number 1 is Aaron Judge. Number 2 is Kerry Carpenter. 3 is Corbin Carroll. 4 is Shohei. 5 is Alex Verdugo. 6, Austin Riley. 7, Jonathan Aranda. 8, Ketel Marte. 9, Gleyber Torres. And number 10 is Junior Caminero versus Cal Quantrill. So we do have 10. I would not suggest linking all of those together and parlaying them, but back and forth you definitely could. Yeah, through 10,000 sims, that's what we've got. And then pitching wise, not going to do much with this today, but Andrew Abbott versus the Guardians. If you could find 6+ strikeouts, I'm okay with that. Michael King versus the Mariners. If you could find 6+, I'm okay with that. Max Fried versus the Mets. 6+ strikeouts I'm looking at. Tony Gonsolin, 6+, but I might move up to 7+ depending on what the weather's going to do. Then I got Paul Skeens versus the Phillies, about 5 to 6 plus strikeouts out of it. So there you have it. That is your Sunday breakdown. If you guys enjoyed it, if you won some money with us this recently, definitely let us know. Have a fantastic Sunday, whatever you are doing. The keyword of the day is fun day because it is Sunday. Good luck, everyone out there for today. We've got MLB. We've got NASCAR. It's the All-Star race already somehow tonight. Just big things going on for Sunday. And then we'll be back this coming week with MLB, MMA, NASCAR, and PGA as well. So less than 4 months away from the start of the NFL season, which we cannot wait for here at FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. Again, first come, first serve. If you want that Mother's Day coupon code, got to email me, send the money, and we will set you up $100 off your yearly pass. Good luck, and as always, bring home some bacon. Peace.